Yes, we are live on Facebook.
Okay.
So, yes.
Fine. Good. We can start now, right? Okay. So good evening, everybody. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, all those who have joined us on Zoom and also all those who have joined us on Facebook Live. Today is Thursday, the 29th of July, 2021. In the English language, generally, we refer to somebody as lion-hearted if the person is very brave and very determined. But today happens to be International Tiger Day, not Lion Day. And to talk about International Tiger Day, we have two co-presenters today, Biswajit Roy Chowdhury, Founder Secretary, Nature, Environment and Wildlife Society, shortly known as NEWS, and Shiladitya Chaudhury, Restaurateur, communication consultant, particularly applicable for tigers, communication consultancy for tigers, wildlife photographer, and editor of the magazine Environ. The co-presenters have given the title today for their presentation as the Great-Hearted Gentleman of the Jungle. I would like to request Dr. Joynta Sengupta, the Secretary and Curator of Victoria Memorial Hall, to introduce the speakers for this evening, after which we will hand over the microphone to them.
Thank you very much, Raju, and good evening, everybody, all of those who have signed into our online lecture today. Happy International Tiger Day. We also hope that you and all your dear ones are keeping safe and well in these times, in these very uncertain times. So we are very much concerned with the conservation of everything, including the environment. In fact, environmental heritage is a critically important component of our mandate, and tiger conservation is, of course, one very critically important component of that. And it's our privilege that we are having in our midst two of the leading experts on tiger conservation who have traveled widely and worked dedicatedly for this cause, Sri Biswajit Roy Chowdhury and Sri Shiladitya Chaudhury. I'll not prolong my introductory talk. I will just say something very briefly about the two speakers. Sri Biswajit Roy Chowdhury is a wildlife conservation practitioner, an environmentalist, and a photographer of nature and wildlife. He is also editor-in-chief of the journal Environ and founder secretary of Nature, Environment and Wildlife Society, which is popularly known as NEWS, an NGO working towards conservation of wildlife and environment. He is also a member of the West Bengal State Wildlife Board and an incubator for nature conservation in the International Union for Conservation of Nature, IUCN. He has also authored numerous books on wildlife conservation. Along with Sri Roy Chowdhury, we have Sri Shiladitya Chaudhury as the co-presenter, who is a communication consultant and a restaurateur par excellence, as many of you know. But he's also a passionate wildlife photographer, an editor of the journal Environ, and a member of the governing body of Nature, Environment and Wildlife Society, or NEWS. He's also a regular columnist for various nature, travel, and wildlife magazines. That's all I have to say. Like all of you, we're all looking forward to having these anecdotes, experiences, and insights into the important matter of tiger conservation. So that's all I have to say. Please keep yourselves mute while the speakers speak, and then put all of your questions in the chat box. So thank you very much for joining in. Happy International Tigers Day again. Enjoy the talk. Thank you.
Okay, with that, over to Biswajit Babu and Shiladitya. But once again, I have to remind everyone to please put yourselves on mute. Otherwise, all the external noises will come into the talks over here. So please put yourselves on mute and put your questions into the chat box. We shall give it to the speakers at the end of their presentation. So over to you, Biswajit Babu and Shiladitya.
Hello, I am Biswajit Roy Chowdhury. Good evening to everybody. And I thank the authorities of Victoria Memorial for inviting me to deliver a talk in the occasion of Global Tiger Day. First, I will give a brief account of tigers of the world, and then I will come to tigers of Sundarbans. So I start with the tigers of the world. There were 9 species of tiger in the world, of which 3 has already become extinct due to many factors, primarily loss of habitat and rampant poaching. The biggest of all species is Siberian tiger. So Panthera altaica, it is almost 11 feet in size and 350 kgs, and which is also which is endangered in IUCN Red Book. Bengal tiger comes second. So you see the difference of weight between Bengal tiger and size and the Siberian tiger. This is only 200 to 261 kgs for male, 116 to 164 kgs for female. And the total number at the moment in India is 3,000, more than 3,500. And what we see from what we estimate from the previous literature and history, that by the turn of 20th century, there were about 50 to 60,000 tigers in Indian forests. But due to rampant poaching, it's mainly started during the period of Jahangir and Humayun, and then it continued up to the British rule. The British rulers with the zamindars and state owners, they killed many tigers, and in 1972, suddenly the conservationists of the world, in a census, came to know only 1,700 tigers are living in wild. So in 1973, Project Tiger was born, and with 9 tiger reserves. So there are many, mostly all tiger ranging forests are within the Project Tiger. And now National Tiger Conservation Authority, NTCA, has taken the charge of the tiger reserves. And so although initially we can think that Bengal tiger is saved from extinction, but still it is highly endangered. Then Indo-Chinese tiger, this is 7.5 to 8.5 feet in length, and weight is 165 to 210 kgs. Only 350 tigers are surviving in wild, Thailand, Vietnam, Laos, Burma, and China. These tigers are found. And this is a critically endangered animal because the number is less than 350. Then South China tiger. This is a small tiger, 7 to 8.5 feet long, and 130 to 170 kgs. 150 are believed to be surviving, but all in captivity. There is no South China tiger in wild. And so it is critically endangered. Malayan tiger, 7 to 8 feet long, and its subspecies is named after Peter Jackson. So the Jacksoni, Panthera tigris jacksoni, and it is population is 250 to 340 in wild, and so it is critically endangered. Sumatran tiger, the smallest of all tiger species, subspecies. Sumatran tiger is only 7 to 8 feet, and only 400, less than 400 is surviving in wild. I have seen in London Zoo, its captive breeding has been done successfully, and it is also a critically endangered species. Now, these three tigers, Caspian tiger, Bali tiger, and Javan tiger, are believed to be extinct. Though it is not found for long time, but we can't call it extinct. It may be discovered any moment, in the forest. So we believe it to be extinct. Now some tiger facts. I'll narrate some tiger facts. A tiger can jump up to 25 to 30 feet in a single leap. It's quite a long distance. The tiger roar can be heard up to 3 kilometers. It is a national animal of 3 countries, India, Bangladesh, and Vietnam. I think no other animal is a national animal of 3 countries. Interestingly, no 2 tigers have stripes of same design. It is just like fingerprints, which are not of human fingerprints, which are not same. And so while counting the tigers, it helps the people who counts a tiger to differentiate one from the other. It has the largest canine among all cats of the world. Gestation period is 16 weeks, and mother gives birth to 2 to 6 cubs, usually, sometimes 1 cub or sometimes very rarely more. Male tiger does not take part in rearing the cubs. The scientific name is Panthera tigris, and now I think I should go over to Sundarbans. Indian tigers are often called Bengal tiger, sometimes Royal Bengal tiger, and sometimes Indian tiger, but all tigers are Panthera tigris tigris. The Sundarban tigers, morphologically, a bit smaller in size, but the size of the pug, I mean the paw, is proportionately larger because of adaptation of the terrain. It's an evergreen forest with many rivers, rivulets, creeks, and channels, and these channels and creeks, narrow creeks, make the forest a place where tiger can hide themselves. And but during fall, the species, mangrove species, Exocaria agulacha, adds hue to the forest. So it's like in North America when maple leaves mature, it takes red and yellow color. Here also, in entire Sundarban, during fall, this Exocaria adds hue to the forest. Just a minute. Due to the topographical condition, the lives of both human and tiger are very difficult in Sundarban, because every day there are 2 high tides and 2 low tides, which makes the terrain muddy and slushy. You can see a tiger, when a tiger tries to get a hard ground, it has to maneuver this sort of soft clay and alluvium soil, and sometimes the soil is mud is waist deep, and it is very difficult for a tiger to always, they have to every day to 4 times, 2 tides and 2 low tides, they have to encounter this sort of terrain. The main prey of Sundarban tigers are cheetal deer and wild pig. Other than these 2, there are many others like monkey, like other small carnivores. Even due to this riverine condition, Sundarban tiger, they used to kill big crabs and even big fishes. The forest floor is full of these pneumatophores, the breathing roots. Hence, it becomes very difficult for a tiger to catch a prey, as they can't beat the cheetal or wild boar in speed. And even they can't climb trees to catch monkeys. So it is a very, very difficult situation for them. Often we see tiger crossing broad, very wide rivers in search of to get its food. So from one island to other island, they have to swim. That's why Sundarban tigers are very agile swimmers. And but there are other animals like this estuarine crocodile, which sometimes exceed 22 feet in length, and they are also very agile. They catch their prey in a lightning speed. So they also wait for their kill, either in the bank or in the water. Many of times, this king cobra, even 12 feet long, king cobras, they swim across the broad rivers, and these are all hazards of the rivers for a tiger. So tigers, while swimming, have to keep their eyes open to avoid conflict with these dangerous animals. And there are some occasions, there are some incidents of tiger and crocodile, crocodile trying to catch a tiger, and sometimes either crocodile is killed or the tiger is killed. In one occasion, a tiger ate a cobra, and the tiger died because while eating the snake, it had a snake bite, and the tiger, in the autopsy, cobra was there in the stomach. Apis dorsata are the honeybees. This species of bees come from eastern Himalayas to prepare their big beehives in the tiger land with full of mangrove honey. So from April till October, these honeybees, Apis dorsata, they make big beehives. The honey collectors, locally known as maulis, they venture inside the forest to collect honey, and many a times the tiger follow them, camouflaging itself, and in many cases, some of these maulis were killed by the tiger. Now the forest department, they give by armed guard while these maulis go inside the forest. But when the bees become homeless, they chase the tiger, and tiger has to jump in the river to save his own life. And even they have to swim across long way in the themselves from these bees. In these difficult situations, the fishermen or the honey collectors at times fall prey to the tiger. So when there is high tide, the fisherman goes inside the creeks and wait inside the creeks for low tide to come. And hungry tiger also waits in the banks, and sometimes they attack these fishermen. But this fishermen also, the other fishermen also, they in order to save themselves, they hit the tiger with bamboo poles for safety. So therefore, either a man gets killed or sometimes a tiger gets injured. Mostly we get the news of tiger killing a man, but we don't get the news that how many tiger gets severely injured by this fisherman. There is no evidence that Sundarban tigers are habitual man-eaters. They have been given a stigma that Sundarban tigers are habitual man-eaters. But I think in all other forests, tigers are, if a tiger gets a man alone, it will attack a man. But if we go through the stories of Jim Corbett or Kenneth Anderson, we will find that when a tiger starts killing killing human, they only feed on the human flesh, because they come to know that human beings are the most helpless and defenseless animal. But in Sundarban, there is no such case. That we find in their stories that sometimes when tiger become man-eater, it killed 300 to 400 people. Even Rudraprayag's cheetah, it also killed more than 200 people. So, but there is no such case in Sundarban where we can say a tiger has killed a man and it has become a habitual man-eater. We see it kills a man after 7 days. If he gets a wild boar, it will kill the boar. After 7 days, if he doesn't get anything, he will eat a fish even. So, and in 94-5, I worked on a project that why tiger of Sundarban go inside, stray. I won't call it stray inside, because that was their territory. Now human being has encroached their territory. So why they go inside the villages and how to prevent that. Then that time I found that in last 30, 40 years, there is no incident that a human being is killed by tiger, except in one case, a girl was killed but not eaten by tiger. It has been found regularly that when the tiger goes inside the forest, village, they kill even ducks and chickens and some goats, but not the human being. So we can't call that they are habitually man-eaters. They always kill human being. This is a stigma for the Sundarban tigers. Tigers of Sundarban mostly feed on deer, pig, large fishes, crabs, and rarely on human beings if they get opportunity to kill, or if they become too much hungry and get the opportunity. Considering all these facts, it can be concluded that human flesh is one of the food in the food chain. So there is no habitual man-eater. There is no record. The human being is one of the food. They eat everything. They eat deer, pig, fish, crab, and also human being. Some other important denizens of Sundarban is jungle cat, Gangetic dolphin, small clawed otter, fishing cat. There are many other animals. I've just I've shown here as the time is not much. Some of the important animals and two carnivores, jungle cat and fishing cat. And see the fishing cat here also, they eat huge fishes. Sundarban is I think is a country of colors. The colors in the forest, color in the sky, color in the water. Everywhere there is color. Especially in autumn time, when the sun sets, the reflection in the river and of the gorgeous sky, it becomes spectacular. So I acknowledge Dr. Jayanta Sengupta and Mr. Raju Raman, Mr. Pradeep Vyas, who has given me opportunity to roam inside the forest, even in the core areas. Krishnendu is my friend, and though he's my young friend of Times of India, he also accompanied me in many occasions. Environ Roy Chowdhury, he also is one of my inspirations, and I've used those captive photographs of initial photographs from Google. So thank you for giving me a patient hearing. Now I'll ask Shiladitya to.
I will conclude with one thing. I have been visiting Sundarbans for the last 25 years. But to my luck, till date, I have never seen a tiger. Mr. Roy Chowdhury has been lucky in this case. I've never seen a tiger. I've visited Sundarbans at least 50 times, or could be more than that. But I could never see a tiger there. However, thanks to Ministry of Culture, namely Dr. Jayanta Sengupta, Mr. Raju Raman, and Victoria Memorial, for organizing this talk show today on World Tiger Day. Today we should be happy because India being one of the 5 tiger ranging countries, we have actually been able to increase the tiger population to a massive level. From 2006 till date, we have about 30% increase in tiger population. And today we have about 3,500 tigers, little more than 3,500 tigers in the wild, spread across 48 tiger reserves in India. Thanks to massive conservation projects and awareness, which has been undertaken by various NGOs, and films like Share Me, which is helping to create awareness within the masses. Today, I would like to share some of my experiences in various tiger reserves, which I have been visiting for the last 30 years now. I have jotted few of them, and I would like to share some experiences in the forest. Excuse me for a second, please. The first story is basically a bonding between a mother and the cub. I've been visiting Tadoba for many years now, and there's a tigress called Maya, which I'm sure many of you must be knowing. And I have been shooting Maya for the last 11 years now. So I would like to talk about the behavior of a typical cub, the relation between a cub and the mother and a male tiger. Mothers are always extremely possessive about the cubs, to the extent that they try to gauge the mood of the male tiger before allowing the cubs to mingle with their father. Here we can see a female tiger heavy meal.
Shiladitya, your sound is breaking off in between. তুমি আরেকটু মাইক্রোফোনের কাছে এসো, your sound is breaking off in between.
Okay. Am I audible enough?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So here we can see some playful cubs at a water hole in peak summer again in Tadoba. And the male tiger normally are not very protective about their cubs. Here the cubs having their own time at Tadoba, a typical bonding between a mother and the cub. a typical bonding between a mother and a cub. Mothers are always, it never let it go. So the mother always is behind the cubs and is always alert about the male tiger, because it gauges the mood of the male tiger before it allows the male tiger to even come in front of their cubs. Once the mother is satisfied with the mood of the tiger, then she allows the male tiger to come within the family. Father do not take part in rearing of the cubs, as I said. And here we can see a male tiger and a female tiger, and the cubs are behind. This is when the mother allows the male tiger for a family meet together. Here we can see some juvenile cubs and the male tiger and the female tiger in a single frame. Next, we'll come to one of my rarest experience in a forest in Dudwa in Uttar Pradesh, close to Lucknow, where it was one of the most thrilling experiences I have ever had in a tiger reserve, when I was chased by a male tiger without knowing that actually it was a man-eater tiger. I'll come to that. One summer afternoon at Dudwa, when we were moving in a jeep, a male tiger came out from the deep forest cover, and it walked for about 5 minutes in front of our car till it tried to hide behind a small hillock as we went on clicking pictures. There was a small hillock and the tiger was, just trying to hide behind. We were very happy. We wanted to take pictures. And in fact, Mr. Roy Chowdhury was there with me also in that trip. And we were taking pictures without even knowing that the tiger was actually stalking us. But before we could understand the mood of the tiger, it charged us furiously. I have never seen a tiger like this ever. I've never seen a tiger like this ever. Here you can see how the tiger almost charged towards the jeep. Our expert driver rushed back towards the opposite direction as the tiger jumped away and went inside the forest. We were really afraid that day for the very first time in a tiger reserve, and we came back to the resort. When we went for the morning safari the next day, we were told actually this tiger had killed 2 humans in the last 2 months' time, and the forest department was trying to identify and locate the tiger, try to catch it and bring it to the zoo. The same tiger was declared as a man-eater and was transferred to Lucknow Zoo. This photograph was clicked by me at Lucknow Zoo 2 years later. The same tiger, I was told. I would like to share one of my experiences in Kaziranga here. In a winter evening near one of the gates at Kaziranga forest, we spotted this tiger slowly crawling up a dike, stalking at domestic cows. We were also gazing. Kaziranga has a typical topography where we have domestic cows grazing around inside the deep forest. The tiger was camouflaging itself for quite some time, silently following the herd. It was more than half an hour, and it was camouflaging behind the bush, coming out, unknowing that, and these cows, they were not very familiar with the tiger movement then. Finally, it chased, but could not got hold of the prey. Here you can see the buffalo, the cows, the running away, and the tigers, attacking behind them. But the tiger could not succeed to get its prey then. But finally, the luck could not favor the tiger as the herd of the cows moved towards another direction. And the tiger came face to face with missing the target. The tiger came face to face with the buffalo, which stopped him from advancing further. I must say that in the forest, tiger is only afraid of buffalo and elephants. This is for the first time when I witnessed how a tiger gets afraid when it sees a buffalo in front of it. So as soon as the buffalo started staring at the tiger stopped all movements and just sat on the forest. Ultimately, the tiger changed the direction and move towards a different water run. But we were lucky, we were trying to capture this entire movement of the tiger for more than an hour for the entire evening safari, and we could succeed in documenting the entire process. Now let me share some experiences of certain tiger behavior with some pictures. A tiger targets its prey by ambushing itself. Here we can see it tries to ambush itself in a typical topography in Bandhavgarh. It approaches quite towards the prey for a final leap. The prey is on the other side. It was a barking deer, which is not in the frame. I'm sorry, it was a sambar, not a barking deer actually. It was on the left side. Ultimately, it succeeds by catching a big sambar. Here you can see the picture of the sambar. Not many people know about this. A juvenile tiger often climbs a tree out of curiosity, but a full-grown mature tiger doesn't. This is typical of a tiger behavior. A juvenile tiger always tries to climb a tree for a better visibility, but a full-grown mature tiger could not. Because of the body weight, it is very difficult for them to climb a tree. A tiger normally sharpens its nails or the claws by scratching the trunk of a tree, and it is also mean to 10 to square kilometers. And a tiger tend not to allow the other tiger from the other territories to come inside its territory. So this is a way of marking the territory and also to sharpen its own claws. It also sprays pheromone, which is a kind of a liquid excreted from the urinary channel to mark its territory. It smells the liquid and it helps it mark the territory in which it moves around. Here you can see it is excreting this from the urinary channel. This many people may think that the tiger is smiling in a picture like this, but it doesn't. Here, a tiger is actually being flamed, which means it's trying to smell its partner's existence. This is a male tiger. When a male tiger normally tends to find a female, it is a typical posture which it does. It tries to smell the flame. So these are a few of these anecdotes which I wanted to share today, my experiences. Now, if you have any questions, you can ask us.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Biswajit Babu and Shiladitya. There are already some questions here in the chat box. So maybe one of you could address these questions. The first one is asking, sir, is the Panthera tigris corbetti named after Jim Corbett?
Yes, it is named after Jim Corbett because when he left India and discovered this tiger, this subspecies, so it was named after him.
Right. There is another question from Dipendu Chaudhury who says, Aaj Antarjatik Bagher Divas, জানতে চাইছি সুন্দরবনের বাঘের ওপর জলবায়ু পরিবর্তন তথা প্রকৃতির পরিবর্তনের প্রভাব কতটা পড়েছে?
I mean, can I answer it in Bengali?
Yeah, whatever.
অনেকখানি প্রভাব পড়েছে কারণ as we know, the river mouths of Sundarban are silted, and there is sea level rise every year, and all the rivers, সমস্ত নদীগুলোই সমুদ্রের সঙ্গে যোগ আছে, তার ফলে জোয়ার ভাটা খেলে, সুতরাং নুন বেশি ঢুকছে, মিষ্টি জল, fresh water is reducing, and saline water is getting inside, and তার ফলে বাঘ অনেকের মতে, এটা আমার মত না, এটা ডক্টর কল্যাণ চক্রবর্তী একজন ফেমাস টাইগার এক্সপার্ট ছিলেন, মারা গেছেন। কল্যাণ চক্রবর্তীর মত ছিল যে এই যে বাঘ দিনরাত নুন জল খাচ্ছে, এত বেশি করে নুনের পরিমাণ বেড়ে যাচ্ছে, এগুলো যেমন মানুষের শরীরে নুন বেশি খেলে তার একটা ফিজিওলজিক্যাল ইম্প্যাক্ট হয়, বাঘের শরীরেও সেরকম ইম্প্যাক্ট হতে পারে। এছাড়া নুন বেড়ে যাওয়ার জন্য জঙ্গলের ভেতরে যদি আমি হেঁটে গিয়ে দেখেছি ভেতরে কোর এরিয়াতে, যে 200 মিটার 250 মিটারের পর আর কোনো জঙ্গল নেই, পুরো নুনে সব গাছপালা মরে গেছে। সুতরাং বাঘের সেখানে খাবার ধরাও খুব মুশকিল হয়, কারণ বাঘের তো স্পিড, আমি একটু আগে বললাম, it lacks speed than any other animals. It can't chase a prey like a lion or a leopard. So it is difficult for them in this condition to catch prey.
Okay. There is another question from our Facebook viewer, Sheikh Sohail. I have seen a growing tendency of referring to Sundarbans as a swamp and the tigers as swamp tigers. Is it technically correct to refer to Sundarban and its tigers as swamp?
We can
Yes.
call it a swamp tiger because due to this swampy condition, this slushy and muddy condition of the terrain and the topography, you can call it a because they don't live in river water. They have to live in the swamps, in the forest. So you can call it a swamp tiger.
I can see a question popping up here.
Yeah.
Is Sundarban tiger easy to locate? No, it's not at all easy to locate, because in all other tiger reserves, one can go inside the tiger reserve with a jeep, in a jeep safari. But in Sundarbans, it is very difficult because one can only see a tiger once it is crossing the river or maybe at the bank, which is a very rare sighting, especially because of the tides. So it's very difficult. I have never seen a tiger in Sundarbans till date. Visiting Sundarban for at least 50 years now. I mean, for 50 times now.
And the next one is actually not a question, but a note of appreciation from the German Consul General, Mr. Manfred Auster, who says, Happy Tiger Day from the German Consulate General. Many thanks for this informative talk, the fantastic pictures, but mostly the work done to protect these majestic animals. Okay.
Thank you.
Somebody else says, Dia Banerjee says, absolutely fascinating. Wish we could see more of such astonishing photographs. Of course, we could see for the whole night if we have to, if we have the time. Certainly, I'm sure both these speakers have sufficient number of photographs to show us throughout the night. But of course, everything has a kind of time frame. So we'll have to work within a time frame. Then there is a kind of message from Noyana Ganguly, who says, I'm a bit surprised that the rare man-eater tiger is taken to a zoo. Doesn't that make him, her more aggressive? Would you like to respond to that?
Yes, it does. But mostly whenever a tiger, mostly when a tiger happens to be man-eater, the normal protocol is either the forest department, they bring it to a zoo, because then it's in captivity. That's a normal protocol. Or send it to a rehabilitation center.
Actually, it is tranquilized and transferred to the
zoo. Okay. So zoo has two kind of tigers. One of those who are born in captivity at the zoo, and the others who are brought from the forest, the wounded tigers or the man-eaters.
Right. Okay, from Orindita Ghosh, there is thing, we know that human-wildlife conflict leads to both human and tiger deaths. However, are tigers endangered by conflict with other animals too? If so, then to what extent?
Just I showed you some pictures of huge crocodiles And if crocodile gets a tiger inside the water, it is difficult for tiger to survive. And these sort of dangers are like king cobras. If just one bite will kill a tiger. At the same time, maybe both are crossing the river. So it happens.
And Sundarban is one of the most difficult terrains for a tiger to live, as Mr. Roy Chowdhury said. Most difficult.
There's another question from Dia Banerjee, who is asking, what made that tiger in Dudwa a man-eater? There is plenty of prey available in the forest. It also looked very healthy.
No, thing is, Dudwa has a long history of man-eating tigers. I can tell you in 1984, when I was in Dudwa, in Sonaripur range, the trainee IAS officer, SD Singh, was killed by a tiger. And ultimately, the tiger was killed by the forest department because they declared it as a man-eater. They estimated that it killed 7-8 people. So I don't know, for some reason, Dudwa has a long history of man-eating tigers. Before which the photograph which Shiladitya showed, before even that, there are many 3-4 cases of man-eating tigers which were captured. No, it is not genetic actually. If a tiger become man-eater in different situations, many situations, like a man-eater tigress's cubs, they becomes man-eater since their birth. So like that, not genetic. There is no.
All right. There is a question from Environ Roy Chowdhury. Are tigers found in higher altitudes, like in Arunachal Pradesh, either the Royal Bengal tiger or any other different species?
Yes. See, tiger is a highly adaptable animal. You see, you find tiger in Siberian snow. You find tiger in Sundarban swamps. You find tigers in semi-arid region like Aravalli region in Ranthambore, Sariska. You also find tiger in Arunachal Pradesh, because we have tiger reserve in Namdapa, and even in Mayodea Pass, that's a snow-clad region, there are tigers. So it's a highly adaptable animal, and it is found almost everywhere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sorry, I think he was asking whether we should call the tigers in Arunachal Pradesh Royal Bengal tigers or something else.
Do they call
Yes,
it?
very much.
Is the same species, right?
Yes.
Yes, right.
And there is a question from Mr. Gautam Seal, which says, is the tiger population decreasing in the Sundarbans?
No, it has not decreased.
No. Sundarban. See, initially, I don't know. There may be a few hundred tigers in past. That in India there were more than 100,000 tigers by the turn of this century. I told you, 50,000-60,000 tigers. So there were many tigers in the past, but in recent past, for the last, after the tiger reserve came up, number of tiger is not decreasing. Rather, it is a stable, and according to expert Peter Jackson, if tiger survives in any place, that is Sundarbans, because it has a natural defense boundary by its rivers and rivulets. So it is very difficult for the poachers also to kill the tiger. So it is increasing, it is stable. Now there are many, 2-3 cubs are also forest department has located. So it's, I think it is stable.
This year especially, there has been considerably increase in number, a lot of cubs. Tiger.
Okay. A question from Orindita Ghosh. Do you think that there are some similarities between human beings and tigers? Maybe if you are Shiv Sena.
Yeah, I mean,
there are dissimilarities because tiger kills for food, and when its stomach is full, it doesn't go for another kill. But we kill fishes and our mutton and keep it in deep fridge, even our stomach is full. So that way, tiger is more gentle than human being.
Yes.
There's a second part. There's a second part of the question is, does a man-eating tiger have man-eating cubs too? How does this happen? This is again whether man-eating tendency.
Now, if it's a tigress, it feeds its cub with the human flesh. If it is a man-eating tigress, so since birth they are used to human flesh and they become habitual man-eater.
Right. Consul General Auster, I think you raised your hand. Did you want to ask something? You can unmute yourself and ask.
Well, thank you very much for that. Good evening to everyone again. Actually, I was just clapping hands. It was a clapping hand symbol.
Okay.
To
Okay.
acknowledge it. But now that I think that was just agreeing with one of the speakers. Thank you very much again for that.
Right. Thank you.
Welcome.
Debojyoti Mukherjee wants to know, what about the white tigers? Why are the zoos obsessed about them? Can we find them in the wild? We are, of course, obsessed about white anything. Yeah. But
yeah, like black panthers. You know, people are obsessed with black panthers. Black panther is nothing but there is a color mutation of the panther. The yellow color doesn't develop. It is same thing like the same thing is the white tiger. There are blackish tiger also found sometimes in Simlipal. So this is melanistic tigers.
It's a disease basically.
Not a disease. The color doesn't
develop.
Yeah.
okay, Duty Karmakar wants to know, the zoo that was shown in the slide was quite spacious and natural. So are the cages being converted to places suitable to the animals, or are the animals still being cramped into the small space surrounded by iron bars?
See, mostly in European zoos, and especially in United States, what I have found, that zoos are really, it's like even in Singapore, it's like a forest. There is a trail in Bronx Zoo which is known as Sunderland Trail. So there are these pneumatophores, there are mangroves, and there are swamps. So they make the zoo more spacious and
They create topographies.
Yeah.
Rajdeep Chatterjee wants to know, বাঘের লড়াইয়ে কি বাঘের ভীষণ রকম ক্ষতিগ্রস্ত হওয়ার ঘটনা ঘটে? এমনটা ঘটলে কখন হয়?
বাঘের লড়াইয়ে?
হ্যাঁ, বাঘের
লড়াই করে,
যার গায়ে জোর বেশি যেতে, তো দুটো বাঘের মধ্যে লড়াই হলে যার গায়ে জোর বেশি সেই জিতবে।
ভীষণভাবে ক্ষতিগ্রস্ত হয়, দেখাও যায়।
মানে এই লাস্ট তারবাও বলছিল ওখানে there is a tiger which was there was a fierce fight between two tigers, and one tiger, his face was D-shaped. It was beaten so badly.
Okay. And there is another question which says, you must have met Billy Arjun Singh then. Could you tell us something about him and how valuable his efforts proved?
See, I met Billy Arjun Singh once in Dudwa when this, I told you about this man-eating case SD Singh was killed by a tiger. And the field director immediately requested Mr. Billy Arjun Singh to come and to have a meeting. And they decided that the tiger was man-eater, so it will be killed. When I came back from Dudwa, I wrote in a newspaper that how could Billy came to the decision that the tiger was man-eater, because the body had rigor mortis. So at least 6-8 hours before it was killed, and that tiger started eating after 8 hours. So if it is a habitual man-eater or man-eater tiger, then it should have started eating immediately. So, but Billy is a knowledgeable man. He also had a tiger called Tara. There are many controversies. I don't want to go into all those things. Whether Tara became man-eater or not, these are all controversies. So.
Okay. Partho Roy wants to know, can any one of the speakers enlighten whether tigers like to be in groups like many other wild animals to manage their own territory?
So tiger, unlike lions, it doesn't be in group much. Only the mother and the calves, they tend to form a group. Even that for only 2 years. Once the tigers are grown, it's a full-grown male or a female, they choose their own territory and they go away. It's only in case of mating when a tiger tends to do mating with the female counterpart, they come close. Otherwise, tigers never tend to be in groups, unlike lions.
Okay. Bonani Kakkar clarifies that in Dudwa, Billy Arjun Singh said that the planting of sugar cane around Dudwa and the farmers bending down to cut the sugar cane were mistaken for animals. Therefore, the tigers attacked them. So he recommended that the sugar plantation should be moved away from the periphery of the forest.
What she told is very much justified. I also endorse what she said.
Okay. I think we have taken a whole lot of questions. Let me see whether there is any other. No, I think we have come to the end of the questions at the moment. Unless, Jointo, if I have overlooked something, have I missed out some question over there?
No, I don't think. I think we have covered all the questions that were.
So I think there has been a wide range of questions actually,
Yes.
and also comments. So thank you. Thank you very much for that, even to the audience. Is there any concluding remark that the speakers would like to make on the basis of the questions that were asked?
Questions were quite relevant, and some questions were intelligent, but really intelligent questions. And especially what Dia asked, why this Dudwa tigers become more man-eater. What is the reason behind that? Like that, there are many good questions, and it is also our good time to have interaction with you all of you, and thank you very much for giving
this show.
Patient hearing and raising the questions.
Okay, then of course, on behalf of Victoria Memorial Hall, let me take this opportunity to thank both of you very much for a very, very informative and also picturesque kind of presentation that you made. And at the same time, we would also like to thank all our viewers who joined us on Zoom as well as on Facebook Live, and for posing all the questions and the additional informations that we have put into the chat box. So thank you all very much. And let us hope that with the kind of optimism that we carry from the presentations today, especially with respect to the Sundarban tigers, that the numbers are not dwindling, but actually going up, that we shall see more numbers of tigers in the near future on the whole. So let's leave with that optimism in mind, and thank you everybody for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And good night.